I am here with Pepperell High School Lady Dragons head basketball coach Emily Claytor, and we are getting ready to discuss the upcoming season and the Christmas tournament. It's good to be here with you today, Coach Claytor. So what are some of your goals for the season?
Yeah, so of course, like a goal for every year. I mean, I coach because I want it to be more impactful than just the game of basketball, and I want them to learn life lessons. I want them to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and so I want them to, of course, gain just all those intangibles that you get from just playing a sport. And then when it comes to our season, I want us to, of course, get better every game, be peaking in February, and we want to be able to go into that region tournament playing our best basketball and giving us a chance at a state berth.
Identify some of the leaders on your team and how you've seen them grow in the offseason.
Yeah, so one of our seniors, Sakai Winston, she's definitely a leader for us. She's one of those people that leads by example and works hard, has a great attitude, and the team just kind of like can feed off of her. And then Zoe Edge, one of our juniors, or our only junior actually, she's been playing a lot since her freshman year, and so she's got a lot of game experience and brings a ton of energy. And she's our little energizer bunny. Whenever I talk to the team about intensity, they always know, like, look to Zoe to know what it means to be intense. And so she's another one that if they just kind of follow her lead, then that kind of gets our team going in the right direction. So they're great leaders for us.
Excellent. This is kind of a specific question, but I'm doing this for WLAQ, who puts on, they broadcast the Christmas tournament. We talk about the Christmas tournament, what a cool experience that is, what that means to you as a coach, what it means to the players to participate in that.
Yeah, so I grew up here, and so I started going to the Christmas tournament when I was in middle school, and I went to Pepperell, so then I got to play in it while I was at Pepperell. And then when I graduated, I came back each year and would go watch it with my dad. And then I came back to be a coach here and have coached in it since. So it's one of those things where I love the tradition. I love how it brings all of us all together, playing together no matter what classification we're in. It's just a great time for local basketball, just to get out there and bring in a big crowd, get everybody excited about watching our local talent. And so I always love it for the girls to get to experience it as well.
Okay. Talk to me about the region you play in. Obviously, you get to play all of your cross-county rivals. What does it mean to play in this region? And it's a tough region as well.
It is. It's a very tough region. It is fun getting to play people that we know. Like Coach Mendence was saying earlier, with the kids going to the CCA now, they get to know one another, and that kind of adds a whole nother layer to getting to play against teams, because it's kind of more fun sometimes when you know who you're playing against, and you kind of have that rivalry building up on and off the court. So that's always fun, and our region is tough from top to bottom. I feel like, the teams that and we're kind of included in kind of that bottom one that we've kind of struggled over the past 5 or so years to try to build something. And, we finished strong last season, and now I feel like it's just kind of the same way as we're going into it. We're needing to try to build on that, but we got a young team. But it's not like I feel like you go into any game in our region and think that it's an easy game. That's not going to be the case with anybody. And so it's all going to be tough, but we love that competition, and it just brings out the best in everybody.
And talk to me about the Lindale community. What does it mean to be a Dragon? What does it mean to coach for Pepperell?
Yes, well, that's awesome. I mean, I love that I get to coach in my alma mater. It means a ton. I feel like the Lindale community is a very close, tight-knit group, and we love our sports and we love each other. We love supporting one another and building things from the little kids up. And so it means a lot to be a part of that and be able to coach back at my school, and just to kind of try to get that to the girls as well, to see that they are bigger, they're a part of something bigger than even what they realize. And they're going to look back on it one day and they're just going to be able to say, I'm a Dragon still, and say it with pride.
All right, I'm here with Zach Mendence, boys head basketball coach at Pepperell High School. Zach, talk to me about what you've done in preparation for the season, and what are some of the goals you have for your team?
We've done a lot of prep in the summer. We basically had 100% attendance almost every day for the whole summer, which is actually unheard of usually when they're splitting time between football, basketball, baseball, all the stuff that they do during the summer. So there's been a real commitment. And, that summertime is a time for you to figure out your new team and to gel together. So for all the guys to be there, that's great. And then you see the commitment side of it. And then now we started out basketball for the first couple weeks, and our guy. Let me tell you, this might be the best. What word am I looking for? Team bonding, team unity group I've ever had. I even have my upperclassmen. I told this story the other day. I was going to fill water bottles up for our team. I didn't want them to go out there to the water fountains. I wanted to have them right there to practice so we have a quick break and whatever. I had 2 upperclassmen come to me while I was going to fill the water bottles up, and they stopped me and they said, "Hey, Coach, do you need me to do that for you?" And I was floored by it. Just something little. Because I talk to them all the time. It's not just about basketball, it's about life. And the things that you're doing on the basketball court are preparing you for the real world. Things like responsibility, respect, when things are down, how do you handle them? Those are all things that turn you from a boy to a man. And to see our kids buying into that stuff for the first couple weeks, and I know it's the first couple weeks, and I told them that, because it's harder when it's a longer season, and you're around each other all the time and you've been doing a lot of basketball. But those are the kind of things that turn a good team into a great team. So those are the things right now that we're really harping on. We're going to mess up X's and O stuff. We're going to throw the ball away. We're going to look sloppy sometimes, which, by the way, Friday we really did. But the kids are going hard and they're buying in. And that's all you can ask for a coach. I will let the chips fall where they may, and I'll take that group anywhere I go and know that I'm going to get their 100% best. Because that's what we preach every day, and I got leaders on the court that are doing that.
All right, you're talking about your leaders. Identify some of those guys and who we can expect to see perform well this season.
First guy I'm going to mention is actually a junior. That's Kendall Brewster. He's basically played varsity since he was a freshman. He started last year. He's probably got the most experience out of all our guys. He's probably one of the quickest guys I've ever seen in Northwest Georgia, but what makes him fantastic is that he's the most unselfish player I've ever coached. He doesn't care about shooting. He literally can beat anybody off the dribble, but the first thing he goes to is throwing it, passing out to somebody, making the right play. Because of that, we're going to get a lot more open shots this year. He kind of gets it. And I know for a high schooler, man, that's all you're thinking about is points. So it's very rare to have a guy that's like, I don't care about that. I'm doing what's best for the team. Which is, guys say that, but he's actually, buying into showing that. We have another one right there, number 1, Landon Lockwood. He had a breakout summer this year, and he was beating a lot of people off the dribble, doing things that I've not seen him do before. He kind of had a breakout last year and started playing a lot more minutes, started getting some starts for us, but he took it to the next level this summer. And then we got a lot of supporting cast around us. Carmelo Brown, Evan Rhodes, you'll see him this season. He shoots threes from half court, like he doesn't miss. So we've got a lot of pieces around. We're just not very tall, but we got a lot of guys, and we're going to take advantage of that.
Talk about some of the tournaments that you're playing in this year, and just what you want to see as far as growth from your team as a whole.
Okay. So really the only tournament we usually participate in is the Rome News Christmas tournament, because our football team tends to make a run in the state playoffs every year, and that's usually about half of our team. So what happens is during this time right now, we're missing a lot of our pieces. So we try to push back our games until we are at full strength. Now, you can't always do that, but basically that doesn't allow the Thanksgiving tournaments and the other tournaments that teams get involved. We basically kick off our season November 21st, and then we go from there, and then we get involved in the Christmas tournament. So.
Any other thoughts you'd like to share about your team and the process? And I know your practices are intense, so talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
You'd like to share.
We go for about an hour 35, hour and 40. I'm not a big old school proponent of let's go slow practice and then get on the line and run some guts. I think that's very outdated. I feel like fun conditioning is a lot better. Competitive conditioning is a lot better. So when you are running up and down the court and you are doing competitive drills, you're going to get a lot more out of the kids and build a lot more cardio and a lot less fight back. So we have made sure that our practices are always high intense, highly competitive, and that we're maximizing the most out of our up and down running, but also trying to understand with running comes also patience and not playing spastic and throwing the ball away everywhere. It takes time and takes practice, and you've got to practice like that all the time. What's the advantage of that is when other teams are not doing that and then they have to face that, it's hard to prepare for. But we have, I'm going to be honest with you, we have about 11 or 12 guys that could see playing time in a game. That's how deep we are. We just don't have a lot of height. So we've got to make sure that we're doing something. We got something in our pocket that we can hold advantage against other teams when they're bigger, taller, or have better scores than us.
Any other thoughts you'd like to share about your team?
I'm just, like I said, when you go to practice every day and the kids are doing everything you ask, they're being respectful, they're doing the little things, they're clapping, they're high-fiving each other, they're picking each other up. They're also, patting each other on the back when things aren't going well. It makes every day coming in fun. It makes it enjoyable, and you're like, this is exactly what I want. So, like I tell them all the time, we just got to make sure that when you're in the grind of the basketball season, because basketball's long. This is October right now. We're going into February. We got to make sure that we still love each other, and we're still doing those things come, playoff time. Because honestly, the way that you make a run is that your kids have bought in, not just in October, but all the way throughout the season, and they should be hitting their peak by the January, February time.